Climate change, together with water mismanagement and overconsumption, is contributing to water scarcity across the globe. The UN warns that by 2025, nearly two-thirds of the world's population may face water shortages. Less than 1% of the Earth's water is fresh water and available for our use. With water demand projected to rise more than half by 2050, it's putting an added strain on supplies. Human activity is also threatening this precious resource. Each year, water pollution kills more people than war and all other forms of violence combined. One environmental activist wants to change all that. With a vision of a clean and sustainable India, he's embarked on a mission to restore freshwater bodies across the country. I spoke to founder of Environmentalist Foundation of India, Arun Krishnamurthy, about his conservation efforts.
I grew up in suburban Chennai, and as the city kept growing, there were these tiny little ponds, beautiful water bodies, which I used to play in, which I used to have so much good times at. This water body being dumped with garbage, or this water body turning for the worse, was the turning point in my life too. Somehow I could emotionally connect, relate to these water bodies, and wanted to volunteer and revive and regain for my own benefit in the first place. And fortunately, I found several fellow Indians who were equally concerned, who also joined, and it became a snowball moment where we just kept going. One water body after the other has taken us to almost 169 water bodies today.
Oh, wow. So you've traveled a lot, many places working on water conservation. But tell us, how bleak is the water crisis in India right now?
So to be honest, there is extended increased awareness with regards to water conservation. Having said that, the demand for water is constantly increasing. India is not just providing water for its own use. India needs to ensure that there is water for all the cars that India needs to make to export. Every single aspect of global need that is being met from this country also needs water, which means that there is an unequal division of water, the natural resource, as it goes in any other part of the world. Point two, the habitat that the water body is, the lake or the pond or the marsh, which supports so many lives. And when this habitat gets disrupted, the kind of negative impact it has on biodiversity and ecology. And this is human induced. That is where we're trying to bring in some level of change within our own limits. We're not trying to solve whole of India's problem. Wherever there is localized solution possible within our limits, in our ambit, we're trying to work for it.
I wonder how challenging it was for you to inspire and convince people to take part. And how do you motivate volunteers to commit to the project over a long time, given that short attention spans of, young people these days?
We've witnessed this in our own journey. 2009 to now, before the mobile phone could become a lot more advanced, there were a lot more people who were willing to participate on field. Today, there are way too many desktop conservationists, if I can say that. It's not bad, but it's just that most of us believe that raising our voice on the virtual platforms, that we would be able to find solutions for all the problems on field, which is not true. You and I have to be out there on the field to resolve, to find a solution for the problem which exists for real. So that's challenge number one. Also, what's happening is politics, cinema, movies, all these are way more exciting and they're way more engaging than hardcore environment work on field. We're competing with our politicians, we're competing with our movie stars to somehow find mind space in our common public. And we do that through a lot of wall art, where we paint public walls in the city through volunteers to engage them in different activities. We do a lot of fitness related to water body activities. We do street theater. India loves its dance, drama, music, and colors. And we're trying to exactly do that. Environment, which is entertaining. And we have tied up with local media where we do run documentary series. And of course, social media. And we're trying to engage the public with one common message. that all of us have to volunteer for India and her environment with science and logic as the base, not just an emotional outrush towards a certain problem.
What advice would you give young people who want to make a positive difference to the environment today? And what would you tell them if they wanted to kickstart a movement in the same way as you founded EFI?
More than an advice, it's a humble request. There is a lot of talk. There is a lot of talk on the global platform about a lot of big issues. Some of us have to initiate actions on ground. The action simply cannot be a protest or an agitation. And we cannot wait for somebody else to find a solution to our problems. It is possible with the kind of exposure, with the kind of resources that most of us have as educated individuals in different parts of the world. We need to find localized solutions for this global problem. And we have to do it happily. There is no point being demotivated, distressed, or more. We'll have to just come together and get this done. Let's just get on ground and do something. Even if it means that we're planting one tree, let's water and ensure that that tree grows into a full-fledged, fully grown tree. So actions speak louder than words. Thank you for having me. Jai Hind.